Hello and welcome to episode 17 of me learning stuff and coding with LLMs. And today I want to continue working on my critical thinking web app. So let's have a look where we are. I will open this web app folder in a separate code and I will run it. So we have integrated the V0 code, and we have created a Supabase instance, but not yet connected the web app to the Supabase, and we haven't filled the Supabase with some data. So that currently we are just using some mock data provider here with some sample questions. But I've started testing some of these questions on my kids, so now I really want to work on the question generator a little bit. So what I was thinking today is to create a prompt plan for the question generator. I already have a question builder here that is connecting, making API calls to OpenAI with a prompt and so on, but I think I want to start over and create a new version and particularly I'm going to write a spec and use this Harper Reed's prompt to generate a prompt plan that I can use to create the question generator exactly the way I want it. The first version here was a little bit cut and paste and a little bit coding, and it's a little bit messy and not structured as well as I want it, so I think it's better to just start over. So let me just create a new folder here. Builder v2. Gonna rename it at some other time. spec.md, and we're gonna work on this at the moment. Let me just have a quick look at the spec for the web app. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna use any of this. Okay. Let's start. Spec. Features. I am going to create a Python script that connects to OpenAI API and generates questions for my critical thinking web. Okay, I'm just thinking, let me just list the main feature. Generate structured output. JSON schema or JSON format. here. And yeah, generic question generation. Initially, I will generate questions in a few categories: critical thinking, social intelligence, emotional intelligence, and self-confidence. Is that what I have now? Social intelligence, self-confidence, critical thinking, and I'm gonna add emotional intelligence. Input. Take a category. Description of what the category mean and what direction I want the questions to go. And each group that the question is targeting. Let me just say like model, data model. Some format to be used web app. Next, JS web app. Data model. Yeah, let me go into the question builder here and go to prompt templates. So this is my schema. So I want that to be written here at least. Main data model. Sample response. Like this. And since this is markdown, I should be able to wrap in down code, data code block, please. I don't remember exactly the syntax. Thank you very much. Okay, so we have this. example or example response. Maybe I should make it clear that this is an array. I want it to output an array. Array. Yep, probably that is enough. But maybe I want to specify the age group. Do I, or do I not? For now, it should be probably 6 to 8. Nine to 12, 12 to 15 maybe. If we do 3-year spans, 5 to 8, 4 years. And then grown-ups. All right. Generate structured output in JSON format. The output should always be in Norwegian language. Yeah. Tags to just tags that fits the question. Yeah, category should always be the same as the input. What else? So just 3 tags, let's say. Maximum 3 tags that fits the always generate 3 follow-up questions. All right. Initially, I will generate questions in a few categories. Maybe I will remove this and I will say generate structured output. The Python script should work as a CLI with command arguments so that I can script question. Input. Take a category, a description of what the category minimum. Base. Based on the input to the following. Category and yeah, I need to do a lot of testing here, so I just need to get started and try something. Based on the input to the following. Create 50 questions for each age group. Save the output to a category date JSON file. Okay. So I think this is the basic of it. Let me see. Generate description. A Python script that should work as a CLI tool with command arguments, so I can blah 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 blah. Whoops. Generate structure output. JSON format, so that I can rely on the output format type. Right, maybe something like that. Save the output to a category.json file. The output should always be in Norwegian language. I don't say anything about OpenAI here, do I? Connect to OpenAI API. On the input part here should be optional the AI model to use, etc. For example, for mini. Mm-hmm. I'm also interested in creating embeddings to check for similar questions. What is to just how this can be done? I want to make sure that this is at a generic Python script. That should work as a CLI tool with command line so that I can script just question generation. Blah, 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 blah. I should probably do something like this. Category. Optional AI model to use or for O, etc. So it will suggest more. And then optional generate default 50. Default 40 minute. That is pretty cheap, so we can generate a lot. And for this, based on the testing I've done so far, the 40 mini model is more than good enough for this, and it's very cheap. Okay, I'm gonna indent all of this. So this is the main feature: a generic Python script. Input, based on input, do the following, and then we can have like the data model description here. And this is like just some additional information. Let's see if it will do anything with this. Maybe create some sample. Yeah, maybe I should do that. Create some examples how to use the script. Yeah, and then we have this embedding part. How this will be done? I don't want to end up with too many similar quests. Yeah. Okay. I need an ID here. For sure. I can identify the question and be able to link to it and so on and so on. What happened now? I saved, so it formatted, but should still be in the correct format. Mm-hmm. Yes, so the question will, sorry, the category I will specify, and the description will be something like the prompt templates here. Like this is for the self-confidence, make new questions to build self-confidence for kids. Every question should encourage reflection over their strengths, interests, and feelings, and help build self-confidence. A short description that explains the purpose of the question. Include 3 additional questions for deeper reflection. Yeah. So all of this, I will build this prompt based on all of these things. So maybe I need to write something about that. Where is my spec? Okay, it's of course in Question Builder V2. Do I need to write something about that? So based on, okay, this was a bit fucked up. Yeah. I just redo this. Do we have some proper markdown? To AI. I think I am happy with this. It's not going to be a code block here. Like this. I'm not sure if I need to tell it to generate a question ID, but that we can fix later, probably. Okay. Features. I think I'm pretty happy. We can give it a go and see what happens. Expand this, fix this typo, and save. Okay, and then we will go to Claude 3.7 Sonnet Thinking. Ooh, we have O1 here as well. let's do Sonnet. And we have our spec.md input. And then we can go to here and copy the prompt plan prompt. Draft the detailed step-by-step blueprint for building this project. Right. I've never tried this, so I have... Wow, okay, that is not correct. It is the spec.md. Yeah. So I've selected the spec.md, my new spec. And then I'm writing this prompt, and it should understand that it's my spec is here. Right? Or do I need to like do this? Okay, I can do this. Let's see. This is my new favorite way of working with LLMs. So this is maybe the third time I'm doing this now. So let's see if we still get the same good results as before. In the meantime, I can have a look in the app here. Looks pretty okay. Can probably work on the UI a little bit. Let's see what it looks like on a phone. Yeah, quite okay. Just added a disclaimer here saying that it's a prototype. You might have to change this for phones, perhaps, but it is quite okay. Also want to implement the favorite functionality here, where you can like favorite your questions or mark them as complete or something like that. Okay, Claude is working hard, but this is looking pretty good, doesn't it? The project requires a CLI tool that accepts category and description inputs, OpenAI API integration, correct. The generation of 50 questions for each age group, correct. JSON output, save to files, questions in Norwegian, embeddings for similarity checking, structured data model with specific fields. Awesome. So let's have a look. Project setup and basic CLI structure. Create a Python script that sets up basic project structure with command line arguments parsing. Use argparse. That is perfectly fine. Or click to create argparse or click. Okay, I'm not familiar with click, but argparse I have used a little bit. Accept the required parameters. Yes. Include help text and documentation. Basic validation. And set up a simple main function. Don't connect to OpenAI yet. Just create a command line interface. I really like that it's adding this to the end, because previously I have seen that the LLM is sort of overstepping. It's too smart, so it's sort of implementing more than just a prompt. It's just assuming what the next step is and then jumping ahead, which is fine, but the purpose of breaking these features into small steps is to have control. Like you can implement a tiny piece, you can test it, and then you can commit it, and then you move on to the next. If you have too big changes in one go, you can end up in a mess. So that's why it's really nice. So here it just states don't connect to OpenAI API yet. which is fine. I don't understand how it should understand that from this, but maybe it would use the spec.md as context or something and then start implementing something. Step 2, Open API connection setup. Yeah, this is perfect. Prompt engineering for question generation. Create functions to construct effective prompts for OpenAI. Design a template for the prompt that includes instructions to generate questions in Norwegian, information about the category and its description, details about the required question format, and fields, age-appropriate considerations, instructions for follow-up questions and tags. Create a function that builds this prompt dynamically based on the input parameters. Include system messages that instruct the model to output the valid JSON. Test the prompt construction with sample inputs. Focus on prompt engineering to get high quality results from the API. Okay. Step 4, generate questions for a single age group. Implement the core functionality to generate questions for one age group. Call OpenAI API, parse the JSON, validate, generate unique IDs for each questions, format questions according to the required data model, add our handling, and include retry logic for API failures. Focus on getting reliable results for a single age group before expanding. Okay. Full question generation across age groups. Extend the scripts to generate for all. Yeah. Call the single age group generation function for each group and combine results into a complete collection. That is good because there's going to be a lot of output tokens from the LLM. So if it's too big, it will just return before, let's say I wanted to generate 200 questions, which I have tried before, then it will still just return maybe 70 probably because the output is too large. So we'll try to generate 50 for each age group and do one API call for each age group. Combine results, add progress tracking and reporting, implement validation, ensure category fields consistent with input, handle age-specific prompt adjustments. Yeah, need to do a lot of testing on this. This step should integrate the previous functionality to generate a complete set of questions. Output formatting and file saving. All right, embeddings for similarity detection. Implement embeddings functionality. Create a function to generate embeddings for questions using OpenAI's embedding API. Very interesting. Implement cosine similarity calculation between question embeddings. Add a function to detect similar questions based on threshold. Create a mechanism to filter out questions that are too similar. Optionally generate replacement questions when duplicates are found. Nice. And add configuration options for similarity thresholds. This is amazing. This is exactly what I was looking for. Final integration and documentation. Yeah, just putting everything together and create a README and yeah, this step should produce a polished, well-documented tool ready for use. Okay, very interesting. I thought these were the implementation prompts. But this is an implementation plan breakdown, and then we get implementation prompts, which is more specific. Create a Python script named questiongenerator.py that implements a CLI tool for generating questions using OpenAI's API. The script should... Okay, suggesting the click library. Why not try that? Load the API key from environment variables. Yeah. Let's have a look at embeddings. Okay, so we'll use OpenAI embeddings API. I need to check the price for that. Hopefully it's not too expensive. Returns the embedding. Maybe I'll do this right away. I'm very curious. Let's go here. Pricing. The OpenAI embeddings API is price per input token. This seems very cheap, right? Because I'm just gonna send in the question itself, not a huge prompt. So if it's this many dollars per 1,000 tokens, and one question should be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 tokens or something. That should... I guess that is how it will work, but we'll see. So we get an embedding vector, and then we are comparing embeddings. But yeah, create the function that takes similar questions, that generates embeddings for all questions, compares each questions with each other in a collection, identify questions that are too similar, returns group of similar questions. And then adding a filter and add CLI options to enable disable this. This is so awesome. I'm not exactly sure how this will work, and if we should save the embeddings probably. I don't see anything about this. We are just generating embeddings. But I don't want to do that every time because most of the questions will be static. So I just probably need to do it once every time I create a new question. You can check. So we have to see about that. Okay, and then finally integrate everything together. Final notes. This implementation plan breaks down the project into logical, incremental steps that build on each other. Each step focuses on a specific aspect of functionality, making the development process manageable and reducing the risk of bugs. The prompts are designed to guide implementation while allowing flexibility in how the code is written. They focus on best practices like proper error handling, input validation, clear documentation, modular design, testing at each step. By following this plan, you'll create a robust CLI tool that meets all the requirements specified in the spec.md file. Yeah. So this in the end here is actually a good point. I don't say anything in my spec on how I want this to be implemented, or what design principles it should follow, and so on. I completely leave it open to Claude in this case to decide, and of course, as it should, use some best practices. But I could specify. I could be more specific here if I wanted, but this seems pretty good. All right, so finally I will copy this output, and I will create a prompt plan.md, and this should be it. Look at this. Beautiful. I think I can use this. Perhaps make some modifications, but in large, this is just one prompt, and I get basically exactly what I wanted based on my spec.md files. I really like this way of working with LLMs. All right, then we have the basis for this, and we can continue working on the implementation in another episode. Thank you for watching. Bye.